Hello, welcome to our innovation coffee break from DSpace. Today we will talk about data logging. Data logging not in general, but data logging for development and validation of autonomous driving functions in ADAS AD vehicle. In our introductory video to DSpace data logging, we have introduced you the new Autera product family, and today I will be focusing on something more practical. Therefore, I will demonstrate you how to set up and record the first application in your data logging. You will see it's quite easy and quite fun. So let's start with the setup that we prepared for today. We have here, of course, our data logger, Autera, 4 GMSL camera interfaces or 4 GMSL cameras, and then together we are also capturing the data from 3 Ethernet interfaces. We are actually emulating Ethernet-based ECU or Ethernet-based radars or LiDARs. And the last Ethernet connection is actually to our configuration computer. We have installed 2 data storage units, each containing 1 SSD, and therefore we have the capacity of 32 terabytes. For the configuration, I will use my laptop that you will see on this screen. And we have also the second screen that's actually showing what is happening on Autera itself. I would start the demonstration with a simple configuration, with a simple application, how to capture the data from one camera. We will choose a component from the library that's capturing the data from the GMSL interface. And we will also select the recorder. For configuration, we will choose one of the prepared camera interfaces, and we will initialize the camera. The camera is outputting data in the RCCB format. Therefore, to see it in the proper colors as we are used to, we will convert it to RGB. For that, we will use OpenCV package and converter. And just connect output and inputs of the blocks here. We have to configure the converter from input is GB and the output is RGB. So we would be almost ready to go. We have to also set up where do we want to store the data. So I will select DSU1 and create a folder simple demo. And I will also select in which format I want to store it. I will add a viewer, and that will allow us to see the output of the camera. So add image viewer, and just then very easily connect output of the decoder and input of the viewer. If I am right, we are ready to go. So I will launch and start directly the configuration. So you see that in the viewer, we have the data captured, and I can just indicate that it's really live. And at the same time, we are recording to the specified destination. Let's stop the recording and check what we have recorded. For that, I will use replay function. So I will use player component and again the same image viewer. In the player component, I will select the location, simply where we store the file, and we can play it and see that we are replaying what was recorded before. So let's see if I see the waving part. Yes, it is. So it's really what I have done. And we are now sure that we have recorded what we wanted. Well, so that was showing how easy you can set a very simple application. How will it differ if you have a little bit more complex configuration? How, for example, the setup that I have described before at the very beginning with 4 cameras and 3 Ethernet data interfaces. Basically, the logical flow is the same. There are just a little bit few more blocks in the diagram, and therefore, I have prepared the configuration before and will describe individual components. So here you see that we have 4 interfaces for the cameras, capturing with 1 recorder. And additionally, we have also the Ethernet recorder. Recording traffic from the Ethernet is even simpler. We need just 1 block where we configure the number of Ethernet interfaces, which ones those are, and where do we want to store the data. The Ethernet interface number 7 and 5s are being stored in the DSU number 0, so SSD 0, and the last Ethernet interface is recording data to the second SSD. There is a trigger component that allows us to connect the entire system to the physical switch in the cockpit or to the mobile application that controls the recording, like, for example, our RTEC. For the sake of simplicity, today I will just use a button click to start the recording. We will launch the application. Everything is green. That looks good. And now I can start the recording with a clicking on the prepared button. So, to describe what we see here, we have the output from 4 cameras. We have the indication from the data viewer that on each interface, each of the 3 interfaces, we are becoming a data. And then we have also 2 windows that are showing some information about SSDs. We have one SSD that is capturing the data with the data rate 17 gigabits per second, the other one almost 15 gigabits per second. That gives us altogether around 32 gigabits per second being stored at the same time. We can switch off the recording now and check what we have recorded and actually if the recording was actually stored where we want it. So I've configured recording into the SSD number 0. We have 2 PCAP files captured, and in the second SSD we have the third Ethernet file or PCAP file and the video output stored. To show you the video data, what we have recorded, I will use the same principle as before. I will create a new diagram for replaying the data that we have captured. So that's already known. So I'll be quite quick. Play component, image viewer, setting up where do we have the data. Home. Sorry, it's mounted in a DSU1 video recorder. So we have 4 outputs because we have 4 cameras and 4 individual files. You can select one of the output, connecting to the input, and running. So you see again, this is one of the output of one of the cameras. And that's about it for today. So I hope you have enjoyed our Innovation Coffee Break. You have seen how performant and easy to handle, easy to configure the Autera system is. If you have any question, requests for extended private demo, or even if you want to evaluate the Autera system, please come back to us. And we will be happy to welcome you here in the virtual showroom or directly on site with the Autera itself.
DSpace, your partner in simulation and validation.